U.S. warplanes down, drones lost, billions burned, and the Houthis still stand. Trump calls it a victory, but the Houthis only narrowed their target. Israel alone now faces the consequences of its war on Gaza as missiles fly and alliances fracture. One question echoes: who's really winning this war? In a stunning reversal, U.S. President Donald Trump has made a sharp U-turn on his high-octane campaign against the Iran-backed Houthis, as reported by the New York Times. After 30 days of relentless strikes in the Red Sea, the cost, both in dollars and American lives, became impossible to justify. U.S. forces had unloaded over $1 billion in munitions, only to lose to $67 million F-18 Super Hornets off the deck of the aircraft carrier Harry Truman. Not to enemy fire, but to tragic mishaps, injuries to 2 pilots, and a crew member added salt to the wound. The South is far from subdued down. 7 MQ-9 Reaper drones, each worth $30 million, crippling Central Command surveillance. The New York Times cited officials saying even advanced F-16 SS and an F-35 fighter jet narrowly escaped Houthi fire. American air superiority nowhere in sight. Despite over 1,100 U.S. strikes and the deaths of more than a dozen senior Houthi leaders, the cost ballooned in those first 30 days. The Houthis shot down 7 American MQ-9 drones around $30 million each, hampering Central Command's ability to track and strike the militant group. Several American F-16s and an F-35 fighter jet were nearly struck by Houthi air defenses, making real the possibility of American casualties. Deployment of 2 aircraft carriers, B-2 bombers, and top-tier missile defenses like PAD and Patriot only intensified scrutiny. Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell said every aspect of the campaign was coordinated at the highest levels, while White House spokeswoman Anna Kelly claimed hundreds of Houthi fighters were eliminated. But the Houthis stood defiant even after an Oman-brokered ceasefire paused attacks on shipping. The group warned that Ben Gurion Airport in Israel is still within their sights, firing missiles in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. Oh, why did President Donald Trump suddenly declare victory over the Houthis? The answer lies in a cocktail of cost, casualties, and cold political calculation. Trump's new Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Dan Kane, warned that a prolonged war in Yemen would sap U.S. readiness in the Asia-Pacific. His predecessor, General Charles C.U. Brown Jr., said the concern before being fired in February. The New York Times reported General Carrillo pushed hard for an 8-month operation backed by Saudi Arabia and loaded with assassination targets. Trump gave him 30 days. According to reports, by day 31, the numbers told the story. Over $1 billion in munitions expended. 7 MQ-9 drones downed. 2 F-18s lost and injured American service members. Even with 1,100 strikes and dozens of Houthi leaders dead, the group stood defiant, reinforcing bunkers and continuing missile launches. Trump, ever the deal maker, saw a quagmire that he pulled the plug. White House spokeswoman Anna Kelly called it another good deal for America. But inside Trump's national security circle, officials admitted they underestimated Houthi resilience and overestimated Trump's appetite for another drawn-out Middle East war. Trump is now on a golf tour, shaking hands and skipping over the rubble as Israel intensifies strikes on Yemen. A key question emerges: are these attacks actually weakening the Houthis or only deepening Yemen's crisis without denting their resolve or capabilities? That silence, analysts say, speaks volumes. Trump made no mention of Houthi attacks on Israel, a pointed omission. Analysts believe the ceasefire was driven by the fact that the Houthis had shifted focus away from U.S. and international shipping and were instead targeting Israel. It's worth noting Trump didn't say anything about Houthi attacks on Israel, which seem to be continuing amid this escalation in this case. It's a U.S. drawdown because the Houthis haven't been attacking international shipping. They've been attacking Israel. The U.S. has been doing its thing, and the Houthis have been targeting U.S. ships. The Houthis aren't going to stop. The Houthis confirmed they won't stop firing on Israel unless it lifts the blockade on Gaza, which is causing widespread starvation for the children of the Palestinian enclave. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, caught off guard by Trump's move, reportedly fumed in private about Trump's Middle East policy, including his back-channel talks with Iran, as Israel continues to bomb Yemen, hitting Hodeidah, Port Sanaa Airport, even civilian aircraft. The Houthis promised retaliation for the attacks, which killed at least 3 and injured 35. A message to the Houthi sponsors, Netanyahu said, but the Houthis aren't flinching. They're not going to stop. Brumfield analyst Hannah Porter told Al Jazeera that Israel lacks the intelligence on the Houthis that it has on groups like Hamas or Hezbollah. The mountainous terrain and vast region of northern Yemen make tracking and targeting Houthi leaders much more difficult. Meanwhile, with Yemen's ports crippled and famine looming, Yemen researcher Rahman al-Hamdani warned that the situation is shaping into an unprecedented humanitarian disaster. The humanitarian situation will just get worse, destroying the 2 main ports of northern Yemen, where the majority of the population lives, coupled with the FTO. Foreign terrorist organization designation, with cuts to the aid system around the world and the deteriorating economy, is a recipe for an unprecedented humanity and disaster. Israel's strikes may punish Yemen, but they haven't broken the Houthis. Instead, the offensive risks fueling a deeper humanitarian catastrophe, while the Houthis grow bolder, defiant, and